another episode of Guerreros Podcast. My name is Jonathan Solis, and today I have something very special for all you. I have a couple, okay? In a world where we're couples and spouse and wife, or husband and wife, they're trying to kill each other. We have a great couple over here. They just stopped choking each other out, believe it or not, but they work pretty good well, okay? The reason I wanted to bring them on was I met them at a Driven event, the Driven Business Summit, right?
Yeah.
And while I was in there, man, it was Boris, to be honest.
What did I do?
It was Boris. What didn't you do, man? But Boris has a great energy. I'll let you guys introduce you guys in a little bit. Boris had a great energy, man. The sarcasm is there. I just love it. It's part of a service that not a lot of people have. The sarcasm to bring the life, bring the energy. A lot of people don't know how to use sarcasm, man, and they suck at it. But Boris, not only does he suck at it, he's pretty good at it.
That's what I like to call a complicit.
But it's a great energy that I got with you guys. A great vibe. More than anything, what put my eye on you guys, of course, besides the Boris energy, was that I seen a couple that was working together, that was fun together, that was being sarcastic together, and to me, to see that, it was like, dude, that's so freaking cool. Like, I could see when you guys get, to like your 60s, 70s, 80s, you guys are gonna be freaking that fun, the fun grandpa and grandma, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you guys are that couple that have the energy, the life. So let our people know, man, who is Boris, who's Amanda, what do you guys do?
Well,
and where can we find you? Because some people are going to have to start following you guys.
Okay.
Well, thank you for that great introduction. I'll let you start, actually. I'll let you.
Yeah. I'm Amanda, my husband Boris here, and we own senior living facilities in the city of Monterey Park. So we've been doing this for 9 years now, and we work together, we do everything together, and it's always fun, but no, I shouldn't say it's always fun, actually. Hold on a second. Hold on.
It's okay to lie, but don't lie that big.
It's no, let's be real.
Yeah, there you go.
It can be challenging, and it's very hard to find someone that you are so compatible with that you can work with each other. But I always say this: you work a 9 to 5, and you get to go home to your spouse and vent about your coworkers. You can't do that when you work together. It turns into what is it that you say? The
fur flies.
The fur flies.
Like bears gonna find the fur just starts to fly when what happens,
So you have to learn how to communicate and work through it, but it's always fun too.
And how long have you guys been together?
Together or married?
Just together, like, how long have you guys known each other?
19 years.
And you guys got married how long ago?
16 years ago.
So 3 years and then got married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, why did you take that leap?
It was a hard sell.
It was a hard sell?
Yeah.
It was hard to say no?
No, we, there was a bunch of, she was finishing college. And there was a bunch of things that needed to happen before we decided to get married. We traveled, we did a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
But it was kind of like planned in a way. We're very big planners. So part of that was, the wedding and this, and it took a while to plan the wedding. So it's not that we didn't know we were going to get married or like there was issues. I mean, there was issues, but that wasn't the reason behind it. So.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you guys did the opposite of what I did. We went to Hawaii and I said, you want to get married? Let's get married. And we got married.
Yeah.
Like, there was no planning, dude. It was just...
I think sometimes that's the way to do it, though.
I don't know. The only thing that keeps me alive is that I know that there's arranged marriages. I was like, if they made it work, I'm pretty sure I can too.
Well, yeah, because... Never mind. I'll be good. I'll be good.
Don't be good. He wants the wrong.
Well, I was just going to say, you have to give the goat back or something of the arranged marriage. Nobody wants to do that. Your dad promised me 3 goats. I never got the goats. I'm just kidding.
You know what you say that, right? Like, dude.
You got more.
I should have kept the goats.
I did get more than 3 goats.
I should have kept the goats, man.
I should have kept the goats.
But yeah, to me, it's a beautiful thing, man, to see you two work together and build something. Has there ever been like, I mean, of course there's been, right? A point where you guys are like, you know what? Today you go to the living room, today I stay here, and then we'll meet tomorrow morning and we'll fucking, we'll restart again. How do you guys handle those situations?
Well, first let me introduce myself. You didn't even throw it back. Look at that. See?
You see how this flows?
You got straight into the fight.
Yeah.
That's a big earthquake.
Oh!
Okay.
Okay.
Baby.
I'm in here.
It's so happening.
It is.
Wow.
Wait till this stops. You got some good footage.
Yeah,
we
you
got to go
did.
check on our facilities.
Yes, please go ahead, and I need to make some calls.
I'm gonna go next
check
door.
the kids.
I'm gonna go next door with your dad first.
No, I'm gonna go with my dad. You go to the facility.
Okay.
You guys
Oh,
are gonna
yes.
see it, but we're back after about what is it, about an hour, 30
and
minutes?
yeah.
You know, after getting it together, this couple over here got the oh shit SOP ready and got to work. And got to work. Start making calls. Start making sure everybody was good, and got us right in the middle where Boris was introducing himself. He has quite a bit of power. Has quite a bit of an entrance. So you guys, I'm telling you, get ready for this couple. I'm not playing. Boris, please introduce yourself, man.
All right, here we go.
For you.
Here we go. All right, let's start from the beginning.
All right, nothing's shaking. Let's
No,
go.
we're gonna hold it this time. We're gonna hold all the earthquakes and stuff.
You already make the entrance. Man.
Yeah, exactly. All right, my name is Boris Palomino. I'm on Instagram, Boris V Palomino. I'm the other owner of Palomino Residential Care. We own 3 senior living facilities here in the city of Monterey Park, and this is my wife and business partner, Amanda Palomino, the Amanda Palomino on Instagram.
Earth didn't move this
Yeah,
time. We're
well.
good.
Once was
He
enough.
wouldn't. He took it like backed out a little bit on the gas because I felt it like dude, I can make it shake again.
Well,
I know.
I felt it.
I
2 would
know.
be too dramatic.
Well, let's see what happens when Amanda introduces. Let's see what shakes. So
You did your introduction already.
I did.
Did you? All right. Well, maybe that was her shake and not yours.
Probably.
That was kind of it.
She's still,
Yeah.
still
You can find me on Instagram at the Amanda Palomino.
There you go. And me and Boris were talking earlier. You guys might start a podcast
We
or
do.
something, right?
We do.
And one thing I like was you're right. We're losing all those great stories, man.
Yeah, it's actually an idea I had for quite some time. I just, you get
Right.
ideas and you never capitalize on them. But I wanted to start a book where it's got a sketch of a particular resident and a story under it. So a memoir, if you want to call it that. Because we're having these stories that are going to the grave from our seniors, and nobody but the families knows these stories, and they're not being documented. And so, as they say, if you don't document something, you don't write it down, it never happened. I'll give you an example. I'll give you 2 quick examples. One, we have a gentleman right now, and he was telling me he was 10 years old and he was in school when he heard about the bombing in Pearl Harbor. And to get his take on what was happening at the time and what went through his mind, it's pretty cool and pretty interesting, right? And then we had another lady. She was a little girl in a Japanese internment camp. So we're talking about stories about pre-World War II and World War II stories of these in the perspective not of an adult, but as a child.
From an adult.
Yeah.
From an adult now, but a child perspective,
Yes.
right? And so I kind of look at it, we're a little bit older, but where were you in 9/11? Where were we on 9/11 when we found out about the terrorist attack, right? And so these are stories that are gonna be lost, and they need to be documented, because otherwise
They were never
it
there.
never happened.
Yeah, you hear about this kind of stuff in history books in school, but to hear it firsthand from someone who actually lived it.
Yeah, and I was about to say, it's like put into perspective. It's like there's still, it hasn't been
Correct.
like it's of course it's been a while back, but it hasn't been that long because they're still here telling the stories.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Like that's
and they
that's,
still remember their stories too. So
yeah, I think that's pretty cool, man. Before the earthquake hit, what we're talking about, we were gonna talk a little bit about the struggles, right? A little
Yeah.
bit of the headaches, and we got a perfect example of what.
that was it.
Yeah,
and that
that
was
w-
us in action.
Yeah. So it was good that we can laugh about it now. So where it's like, at least we can joke around about it now, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like imagine if a log would have just kind of boop and there it goes. So I was like, dude, even if it did, I was like, you guys still would have had to get up and go check on your people. You know,
That's
that's what
true.
you guys have to do,
Right.
whether we like
Yeah.
a log on our head or not. As
Right.
business owners, as caring people, because
Yeah.
what you guys are doing is out of care. You know, I feel it, I see it. You guys are gonna end up going over, even if Boris has a freaking log right here, and you over here trying to get off a log off of him while you're carrying. You know, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
we care about the people that we work with. We care about the people that we have here,
Right.
you know.
That's true.
So I really love it. Like I seen the action and I loved it. I loved it. I love how you guys. The first thing is check on the people.
Yeah.
Check how's everybody. Make sure everyone is okay. So to see that in first person as a business owner, shit, dude. If I had to, I'm never gonna do this right myself. But if I had to bring my parents or my grandparents to my caring facility, you guys would definitely be it.
Thank
That
you.
was beautiful to see the care, the genuine care that came with it, right? So
And
Yeah.
thank you for that, because our industry is not the most glamorous, right? It's not the sexiest thing in the world, where, you know, you find people on Instagram who are doing all these amazing, great things. Our industry is, we're caring for someone's loved one, right? And our take on it is a little bit different, because we have to thread a fine line of care, compassion, love, while still running a business. And so it makes it a little bit more difficult, because unfortunately in our industry, there's a lot of bad homes out there. And it's just like any other business. If you start a business for the wrong reasons, you're not going to be successful, because that will catch up to you eventually. And why did we start our business? Not for the money, not for travel. I mean, you can see all the fun, cool stuff we do on our Instagram page, but we did it for our kids, for our family, to have that freedom in our life. Because we're doing things for that reason, the rest will follow and the rest will come. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
No, but it's true. So when we started our business, we did it because we wanted to start a family for one. But we didn't want to start a family just to have our child in daycare while we were working in an office and couldn't attend any of the assemblies or volunteer or be involved in their life. So when we decided to open our business is when I found out I got pregnant with my daughter, and she was a year old when we opened our very first location. That's when we moved our family into that 300 square foot room that you saw in the back of that facility. We lived there for 5 years. I got pregnant with my son next, and we all lived in that room. It was a 300 square foot room. We did that for 5 years while we purchased another property and kept growing the business. But we started the business so that we can be fully present with our kids and raise them ourselves and attend all of the assemblies and volunteer. We volunteer so much at our kids' school. We're always there whenever they call us or want us there. And so just having that opportunity and the freedom to do that is really why we started the business to begin with. But being able to care for the seniors that we care for, now that just adds a whole other level of just joy to our lives. Like you saw me when I was walking into that facility and I was saying, hi, I'm speaking to my residents by first name. I know them on a personal level. They have become family to us. My children go and they color with them and they're just involved. It's truly a family business that we've built and it feels good. It's a business that feels good.
No, yeah, I walked in to their facilities and I was like, man, I walk in here and it's like, I know you guys run a caregiving facility, but it feels like I'm walking into a home.
Yeah.
Right? Like you guys have that. Like I said, you guys are that couple. Like you guys make people feel good, right? And so when I walked in there, I was like, dude, like I'm walking into a home, not a like I've seen care centers, right?
Was that what you were expecting to walk into when you walked?
No, not at all, not at all, dude. Like I was like when I was going in, I was like, all right, well I'm going to a facility, right?
Sure.
An actual facility.
Yeah.
And I get here and it's like, okay, well I get it, it's a home, right? Like I already knew it was gonna be a home, but
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to get a feel of a home, and that's what I got when I walked in there. So it felt like I was like you said you walked in there, checking up on everybody, talking to everybody.
Right.
Checking in, actual real care.
Yeah.
Right now, I was like, oh, you guys, all right, well, bye. I'll see you. Like, it was nothing like that. Like what I have experienced. 'Cause, I mean,
let me ask you a quick question. Let me ask you a quick. You're going to get to a point I want you to touch on. When you think of a senior care facility, one of our most powerful senses is the sense of smell. Mm-hmm. It will take us back to the best times of our life and the worst times of our life, right? If you smell something that resembles your mom's or your grandma's cooking, it takes you back there, right? So I'm going to touch on something real quick. You think of a senior care facility. What's the first smell that comes to mind?
Hospital. There was no hospital in there.
Is it a
And
good
I
or a
hate
bad
hospital.
one?
It was a good.
No, what I'm saying, the first one, if I say senior care facility, first thing that comes to mind, hospital, right? Not a pleasant smell. What did it smell like when you walked into my facility, our facility?
Well, I didn't even pay attention to that, but I didn't get that because right now you're talking about that, it was just I'm trying to remember, but
It didn't smell sterile.
No,
right?
it didn't. Like
Yeah.
it was
It
like
felt like homey.
yeah, that's
home.
what I'm saying. Like a
Yeah.
home smell, right? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like I walked in. Like when you walk to a hospital, like you get that. Oh shit, I'm in a hospital. Like,
Yeah.
you get that
Right.
smell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like when I was gonna walk in, I figured it was gonna be something similar because I mean it's a caring facility, right?
Yeah.
To me, people at care kind of rings hospital care, right?
Right.
But when I walked in there, like I said, I didn't get any feel. Like it got a home feel to it.
Yeah.
Which is to me this is amazing because I used to do work in care facilities for the elders, right, for our senior citizens. Nothing in specific.
Need to
Close the
close
door.
that.
That's okay, no worries. Nothing in specific, because the mic will grab it. Nothing in specific, but when I was there, I would see like people just not care. Like
Right.
you have a care service.
Yeah.
Like I get it, you work here, right? It's your job.
Right.
But you're caring for people. Like I would see people like give the food and walk away, and then you just see the person just like what the like you're not
Yeah.
feeding a freaking animal, man.
Right.
You're feeding a human being, someone like you said, someone's parents, someone's grandparents. Like you're feeding someone.
Yeah.
And that's what like when I walked in here and not getting that feel of hospital, I'm gonna call it must, 'cause that's what it is, hospital must.
Yeah.
Right. It was pretty cool. Because I hate hospitals. I even tell my parents, everybody, if you end up in the hospital, do not call me. I'm not stepping in. I hate hospitals.
Yeah.
That one time I went,
I'm gonna have to close.
yeah,
I'm gonna get
for this
really-
one, because they're actually dragging it now. There we go. But so there was a point where one of my nephews ended in the hospital for obesity, right?
Okay.
And I was like, dude, I fucking told you, I do not want to see you in this bed. Next time, you're gonna be here by yourself. And I walked away crying because I hate hospitals. I was
Right.
freaking in hospitals, like in and out for a good 4 months, right? And that was when I had the accident. But I just hate hospitals.
Yeah.
So being able to come here and, like I say, seeing that it's a home that cares for people, not a care facility,
Yeah.
and that's pretty cool. Because, like you say, you guys, and there's bad apples in every industry, but for the most part, people see the caregiving industry as, like, oh, dude, you taking me to my deathbed. Like, nah, man. Like, I saw people here enjoying themselves, and you guys
Yeah.
had the music, the live music.
Yeah.
You got people that actually care.
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference, I believe. So, you guys got definitely something great.
We get asked. There's so much opportunity to open these care facilities, and we get asked like on the calls with William Stern. He's like, go big and expand. We would love to expand, but what works best for us is the small home setting, because that's when you get the personal touch. You don't see a lot of turnover on caregivers. We deal with a lot of dementia residents, and so they get really confused when you're turning staff and doing several shifts and all these people in a house.
It gets hectic for them.
Yes, it just creates a lot of anxiety or agitation
yes,
when it
yes.
doesn't need to. So I feel like we really found a good formula that works for us, and really a blueprint that we've built over the past 9 years that we can just take and copy and paste and do more small settings like this.
Yeah, so like back home, my sisters, my wife, they've done, caregiving. Even right now, my sister, she's the one that needs the care with her health issues, right?
Yeah.
And she's here taking care of people, and they love her, man. They love her.
Yeah.
And to touch up on employees, to have employees that are loyal and they stick around with you for many, many years is big. To us, our employees are family too. It's not just about a good paying job, but understanding them as people. We have employees who will, hey, I need XYZ for my family time or whatever. We're very flexible with our employees.
Yeah.
And how we navigate certain circumstances where most employers will be like, not my problem. You got to be here tomorrow at 7. That's very important because retaining employees, it's not just about money, but how you treat them, the leadership that's provided to them, the training. And I always tell my employees, I don't want you to be my employee forever. I want you to go out there and own a home like this, and I will help you. I want you to be more successful. I want you to go out there and do things like I have, because I was an employee, she was an employee. But you're never gonna make it in life being someone's employee. Take that risk, go out there. If you say, hey, can you help me start one of these? I'll help you, I don't care. So we want our employees to feel like they're part of the family and to come up with us. And eventually go on their own way. I'll always have somebody that I can train and replace them. But I want my employees who have been loyal to us and have been with us through thick and thin. I was in the trenches. We were in the trenches with our employees when we started. We were changing diapers. We were learning right there. With our very first employee, she had a lot of experience and she trained us. And so there is no ego here. There is no, I'm the boss and you do this. No, I'm like, what are we doing here? So I can learn and train the next employees, because leadership is being able to explain to your employees what the job entails through actions, not through words. Because how am I going to tell you to do a job that I don't even know how to do myself? And that's a huge problem with a lot of these businesses and even corporations. I was in the automotive industry for over 15 years. I worked for Ford and I worked for Chrysler, Dodge, Mopar. And you would get these higher ups coming down with their grandiose ideas. And it's like, no, that's not going to work, because you've never spent time I mean, you were in corporate. You have these corporate people, they think they know everything. And it's like, you haven't spent time in the trenches. You don't know what the customer wants. You're not out there with the customer. Taking it back to us, we're in there with our staff. If they need training again, we're doing the training with them. If they need resources, we are there providing the resources for them.
I mean, you just saw it right now with the earthquake.
So leadership plays a big role in understanding our employees and understanding their needs from their personal level to the professional level. It's paramount to success, because we're only as good as our team is. And I always tell my employees, I said, your job is to care for the seniors. Without seniors, there's no job. Without you, there's no business for me. So we're all connected. That's the motto and philosophy that we have here.
And it's beautiful to hear that, because like you have bosses that don't see that. They're just like, it's my business, I'm the boss, so you can go on. Like, yeah, you are, dude, but just because, and one thing I learned was business, any business is business, anything that's business is old people, right? Business is people. Without people, you can't have a business. Without people, you don't have customers, you don't have a business. It's old people. So to hear the way you express yourself about your employees, right? It's one of the things I want to be able to achieve very soon, because I'm gonna start hiring very soon too. But for you, other than treating your employees like family, what is it that helps you retain them? Because like you said, you don't want people to come in and out, especially in this industry where people are like, who the hell is this now? Like, you know, like what is the key to the retention? Because if you're treating them like family, like, yeah, I want to be a place like I'm family. Now you're over here showing them how to, like, hey, you want to do this? Let's go. But what do you think it's the main thing that helps keep the retention of your employees?
For one, having employees that actually value the type of work that they do. You can pay really well, but if an employee hates their job, that's not the industry they want to be in, they will leave regardless. So one, like, yes, paying well, but the employee also values the type of work that they're doing or the service they provide. We also pay bonuses too. You know, money makes people feel good. We have company parties. We create an environment and a culture that they really want to be a part of. So when we throw our company parties, we actually have one this week. We're throwing a summer pool party.
Damn, I came late.
I know.
I mean, early.
But we have a summer pool party for our caregivers every year. And it's not just for them, but we have their families join too. And nobody wants to party with the bosses, so we provide the food, we provide the place, they get to have their fun, and we sneak out. This is for them. This is their stress relief. This is their time to spend with their families, with their kids, with their coworkers. But come on, I worked corporate. And I'm sure you did too, working in an office job. You don't want to party with the bosses.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how cool we are or how fun we can be. We're still the boss. We're
Yeah.
still the boss. And you have to act a certain way when the bosses are around.
Yeah.
So we leave.
And we have to act a certain way too with our employees, because
Yeah,
we're not
of
going to
course.
interact with them. As much as we do joke around and we do a lot of stuff with them,
Yeah.
you're not going to interact in the same way with your employees as you would with your friends. It's just,
We have always stuck by our word. If we say we're going to do something, we always do it. So if it means that there's disciplinary action that needs to be taken in the facility, we actually do it. Why? Because it shows a level of respect from the other caregivers. Well, you said we shouldn't do this. This caregiver is doing this. We reported it to you and you don't do anything about it. So
you lose credibility and
we do.
and that.
Exactly. So whenever we say we're going to do something, we always do it.
and then you also set standards.
Yeah.
Because if someone's doing something they're not supposed to and they get away with that, what does that tell?
So let me ask you, all this stuff, you must have like core values in place, right? What are some of your core values?
Loyalty, honesty, respect. They're very simple. I mean, if you think about all these things, they're really simple values that unfortunately are being eroded from our society now. And sometimes you just have to go back to the basics. And people don't like that. And people either don't like that or they don't respect it because they can't recognize it because it's not there anymore. For us, core values are very important. One of my mentors growing up, he was one of my service manager. He once told me, and he said, in life, a man only has two things: their word and their family. And that's one thing that I personally have always lived by. If I tell my employees I'm going to do something, or if I tell anybody I'm going to do something, I do it. Regardless of whether at the moment where I am going to have to follow through with my word, I'm against it or whatever, I do it. I do it with our kids, and I make sure that everybody lives by that standard. In my family, and my employees, part of the culture we build is based on our values, which we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Keeping it simple, man. I love it.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta. I mean, you guys see the setup. Keeping it simple. 2 phones, 2 tripods.
Don't
2 mics.
overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Once you overcomplicate it, oh my gosh.
Overcomplicate, overthink,
Yes.
paralysis, analysis.
Yeah.
Get out
It
of
gets-
your
it
own
gets
head
bad.
sometimes. Just do it.
So for you guys, because we're talking about this, what has been the biggest? I want to say the biggest failure that has changed. How can I put this? That has changed the way you guys do things, because like I said, like I was telling you guys earlier, for me, the success is not in the success; it's in the actual failures, right? Even
Yeah.
John Maxwell, like he says, if you ever fail, make sure you fail forward.
Right.
Right. So for you guys, what has been that those failures that have gotten you to where you guys are today?
Yeah, so failures are learning opportunities, always. If you don't learn from them, then you're doing something wrong. You'll continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. One of the, I guess, biggest failures was when we opened our second location and we kept one of our managers on. And we couldn't figure out why we kept losing caregivers. We kept thinking we weren't training correctly, they just weren't the right fit for the job. But all the signs were there and we chose to ignore them. We put so much faith into this one manager. And sometimes you have to fire from the top and kind of restructure going down. And we had to let go of our manager because it turns out she was the reason why everybody was quitting. And that was probably one of the hardest fires we ever did.
Yeah.
And we took too long to do it. We waited way too long to make that decision because the second we did, my caregivers that were working there are still there now. Every time we open a new facility, we call it the revolving door of caregivers. It takes us a while to find the right fit. It takes, Boris has this saying, everyone looks good getting off the bus. When you need a job, you are just desperate for any job. So you bring them in for a trial period, and I'm gonna say maybe 8 out of 10 times, they choose to leave because they realize it's not the job for them. Caring for someone else's life is a huge responsibility. Yes. And a lot of people think they can do it, and they just can't. They don't have the heart for it, and that's okay.
Or the stomach.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Or the stomach. You're changing adult diapers here, and it's the reality of what we do most of the day. And once you find like the right group of caregivers, you stop the revolving door, and then that's when you start to have employee retention, and that's when our business model just really works.
That's when the actual kick-in of the model.
Yeah, and then also the continuous communication with our team.
Yeah.
We have a lot of procedures and a lot of things that we put together throughout the years where it helps our employees ease tension within the facility, to eliminate work environment stress.
Yeah.
Because let's be realistic. Anybody that we work with, we're going to spend more time with them than anyone else, even with our own families. Yeah. We're the exception because we're together all the time.
Right.
But for the most part, you think about it, you're with your coworkers most of the time. And the time that you're with your family is very minimal. And so you have to be able to give your employees the tools to de-escalate situations and to work things out. Because no job is ever perfect. My dad has this saying in Spanish, I'll say it in English, it said, work is so tedious they have to pay you for it. It's true. So no job is perfect. There's going to be circumstances, there's going to be situations where you're going to have to navigate them. And so we put in place all these procedures and all these resources and tools for our employees so they feel that if there is a situation, first, how to deal with it internally before it comes to us. And secondly, if it's that bad of a situation, then that's when we intervene and we have, depending on the situation, we take the course of action appropriate to help the situation. Going in there and firing an employee is not always the best solution or the number one solution. There's times where we've had to do it, and I personally hate firing people because it has a repercussion effect on them, their families, and whatnot.
Of course.
So that is the very last resort.
And sometimes it's just us too. We tell our caregivers, we have no ego. If you have an issue with us, like if you feel like you're communicating with us and we're not listening, we're not understanding, we're not making the changes that you're requesting, stop us. Sit us down, ask us, or talk to us about whatever the issue is. And they have before.
Yeah.
They've told us, like, we send you messages and you don't respond quickly enough. You know what? You're right. I don't. And so now we have corrected, or I have anyway, right? Like I've corrected my issues and my mistakes. And I have that relationship with our caregivers now where they feel comfortable coming to the boss and speaking to the boss about the issues, right? Because oftentimes coming from that corporate setting, you
it's
can't
a closed door.
You can't, you can't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
What ends up happening is you start talking shit about the boss, but you don't feel that confidence. And I talk shit about the boss?
No, I do.
I was like, is it who's talking about who right now?
I don't know. We'll find out. Jonathan, whose fault is it?
This is getting great. I'm like, it was a podcast, but it turned into a reality show. Right now.
It could
I'm
very
following
well
you
be.
guys around.
It could very
What
well
was
be.
that show on MTV with like the boxing dudes? I forgot the name of it. No?
Oh, no.
Oh, way back. in
We're
the
too
day.
young for that one.
Yeah, you're losing
No,
the
you're
crowd.
not.
You're losing the
I was doing MTV when MTV was MTV.
Yeah.
Right? It was
Yes.
just music.
It was music.
Yeah.
It wasn't all this
Not all this
stupidity.
dumb
Yeah.
shit.
I don't even
Anyways.
know. Do they have
I don't know what the hell they do.
But sorry.
I don't either.
Didn't mean to repeat.
Wait, let me ask you guys before we
please.
get out of the subject. As a couple, right? Because to me it's interesting, man.
Yeah.
As a couple, how do you guys keep the business like? All right, we're in this together as business, and then you, of course, we're married. like, how do you differentiate the two? Because I mean,
Yeah.
in my head, I think you must have like a way to, like, you cannot just be like, dude, it's all one, right? Like, I couldn't see myself.
You want the secret?
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no secret.
There is no secret.
It's a melting pot. We can be arguing 1 second and then we get a work call or a work text.
It's over.
And you're like, oh, hey, like, we're yelling. And then immediately switch over to professional, like, oh, hey, I just got this message. So-and-so said this got delivered. Did you receive it? Did I receive it? Did they receive it? Like, what's the status on it? He responds, I'm on the phone. Oh, this is the situation. Got it under control. We're all good. Okay. Now, where were we in that argument? Like,
Did you ever watch the old Looney Tunes when it was the dog and Wile E. Coyote? They would walk up, clock in. They were buddies. They clock in, they start kicking each other's asses, and then they clock out and they're buddies again. That's pretty much us. So you can find that clip of that video of that cartoon.
That's for you, Ivan.
And put it in our
right
thing, because that's literally what happens. Like, not all the time, but it happens often enough where we're fighting about personal stuff.
Right.
You can't bring that into business.
no.
And you're fighting about business stuff and you can't bring that into personal.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and say, do it tomorrow to work with your spouse. No.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
Right.
Right?
That's a superpower you guys have, honestly. Like,
Well, we make it look easy. Trust me. If you had behind the scenes cameras, you would see the fur flying. As I say.
But I will also say that your personality or like your sense of humor plays a huge role in this, right? Like, we're very sarcastic with each other, and sometimes people look at us and they're like,
You guys are rude.
You guys are like rude to each other and you're
To each other.
disrespectful. And I'm like, no, we're really not. We just have this back and forth banter that him and I are okay with. Like,
that's a relationship.
Yeah.
that's us, and you've seen it firsthand. And I think people who meet us see that, and once they realize, oh, they're both just really sarcastic with each other and they're both fun with each other, like, oh, like what he said, like, she's giving it right back to him. And then they start laughing about it. You have to get to know us to understand that, right?
And actually, that just happened recently. We were at a camping trip, and I don't know, I was talking smack about you, and one of the girls, she's like, you know, you talk very negative about your wife. And I was like, in the back of my mind, I really wanted to say, well, thank you, send me the bill for the marriage therapy. But I said, I don't know if you've noticed, she's been dishing it back and forth all night. So this is our relationship and this is how we operate. But we do get a lot of the, you know, we'll be having dinner and I'll say something and they're like, you know, and I'm like, oh, relax. And then she'll say something and they're like,
oh shit, they're going to
like,
start fighting. I'm like, no, like.
People don't have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a line of respect.
Yeah.
But people lack a sense of humor. Right now, people lack common sense and a sense of humor, among other things. Laugh about things. Like, I don't care. Like, the kids say stuff all the time to us.
Yeah.
Respectful.
Yeah.
Obviously, right? There's still a line. But her and I, we joke around a lot. We're in a very stressful line of work.
Mm-hmm.
We work together. We're together all the time. We have to make fun of things. We have to make light of things.
Yeah.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah. You have
And-
to make light of things. That's
Yeah, and you can't take yourself too seriously. You know, like I like
Yeah.
to say, I had hair when I started this business. The picture's right there.
You're
I
looking
did.
at the wedding
I had
photo
a full
back
mane. I was, now it's.
Dude,
you know.
I used to have three head. Now I have a 4 head, and then soon enough I have entrances.
Listen,
So,
you still have it. I don't. I gave it up. I said, you know what? I'm done. I just gave up.
We go on a lot of date nights though. We're always going out. I have one resident with us right now. She's like, I see you guys running in and out of here all day long. You must go out and have a drink. I'm like, oh yeah. Like, we go out all the time. We're always out. We're at bars together. We'll just sit at dinner together. And we don't always talk about business, right? Like, we find ways to reconnect as a couple, as a married couple. We've been married 16 years. So regardless if you run a business with someone or not, 16 years is still a long time, and you have to
16
rekindle
years
that
in
flame.
anything is a lot.
Yeah. So you have to find ways to rekindle that flame, and we've found ways.
Yeah, and it's funny because you live your life every day, and you don't think you have that interesting of a life. And we talk to people, and they're like, "Oh, that's so cool! You're doing that, and you're doing this, you're doing that." And little by little, you realize my life is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing all this stuff that a lot of people can't do, and so you kind of do this like ostrich in the ground, head in the ground, where you look at somebody else's life and you compare your life to somebody else's life, but you don't compare it down. Maybe comparison is not the right word, but you don't I don't even know what the right word is, but you don't stop and think, there's people that wish they had my life.
Or at least be in my position, my shoes.
Yeah. And be grateful for what you have, because you're always looking for the next big thing, right? You're looking for the next, like, as for me, I've always had this thing where it's like, wherever I'm at, I'm never satisfied, ever. I just next. And sometimes I don't enjoy the things I have because I'm like, okay, I got this. Now I want that. And so now I'm going to that. Instead of stopping and enjoying what I have and going to Driven, and with Brad Lee, one of the things I took away from him is be grateful for today. I love that. That's why I became a huge fan of Brad Lee, because that gave me a different perspective, where it's like, yeah, I wish I had a bigger house. I wish I had, the exotic cars, all that. Well, that's going to come, I'm pretty sure it's going to come. But right now, I'm going to enjoy what I have, because a lot of people tell us, I wish I had your life. I wish I could do all the things you do. And we're just barely starting to post our life on our Instagram pages. Right. We're big football fans. We travel for football games. We travel a lot. We spend time with our kids. We're fortunate enough to be with our kids 24/7. Aside from the material things, we spend a lot of time together. And that's something that a lot of people wish they were able to do. And we want to help people get to that. So eventually, we want to, you have no idea how many people come up to us and they're like, we want to open up a home like yours. But we call that the must be nice syndrome. Oh, I see you're on vacation. Oh, I see you have a nice car. Oh, I see you're doing this. Oh, but you had to do what to get there?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean I have to, sacrifice? Oh, you mean it's all that work?
Yeah.
It's all fun and games till somebody realizes you got to sacrifice. You got to put in the work. We were sleeping on the floor for I don't know how many years, doing night shifts. When we opened up our second facility, we stayed in one of the rooms with our newborn son.
Yeah.
He was in his crib. We were on an air mattress. Yeah, it looks great right now on our Instagram.
Wasn't all that great.
But it wasn't all that great, right?
Yeah.
And even now we still have challenges. We have all kinds of challenges. And we're going to
Earthquakes.
grow.
Yeah.
Earthquakes. But we have a lot of things that we got planned and coming.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go through those growing pains. We're going to go through all of that again. And we're going to be documenting it now so that people can see what it really takes to open up a senior care home
facility. So there's one thing, or because it relates to it, I was told that most businesses don't have the actual business. Like you have a care facility business, right? You don't have a care facility business, you have a multimedia business. And by that I mean you have a camera, you guys got yourself, and you guys can record all the process, everything that you guys do to train someone else. Kind of like what Bradley does with Lightspeed, right?
Yeah.
So when I heard that, right, and it could be applied to any business, I was like, wow, dude, like you could be the expert in this.
Yeah.
And people are gonna come and look at your videos.
Yes.
Right? Like at the end of the day, not only are you helping people out with your videos, but dude, you're getting paid. Like how cool is that? Right? But let me ask this, because it also falls with it, what you were talking earlier. What has been the biggest sacrifice up to now that you guys have made to be able to get, to at least to you guys got 2, right?
Yeah.
So to be able to get to that second care facility.
So we have 3.
Oh, 3?
We have 3.
Oops.
For the record.
Yeah, for the record. So to get to that third facility, because if one most of the biggest sacrifices of course will come at the beginning, because you're barely starting.
Right.
situating, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
up to now, what has been the biggest sacrifice for you guys that you can?
Giving up our house. So our first facility, that was my childhood home. And when Boris and I got married, we purchased that home from my parents and moved into it. And that had the guest house in the back that we moved into to open the first facility. So 2 years later, we had an opportunity to purchase the second house for the second facility. And the original plan was always to move the seniors out of our home, move back into our home, and have those seniors take over the second facility. But we decided that the fastest path to growth was to sacrifice. So by sacrificing, that meant still living in that little room in the guest house, but we still took vacations. We still lived life. We just lived in a guest house. And we expanded our business. And that's when we added the second facility. And then we eventually added the third facility. We moved into this house now. But our end game is always to move back into our original home.
So it's still in the plans.
It is still in the plans. And that's something that we are hoping to make happen within the next year, I'd say.
Nice.
But with the expansion of more facilities, we definitely want to move back into that house.
Are you guys gonna turn this one into a facility as well?
No, we're actually renting this house.
Yeah.
This is a rental.
Yeah.
Oh
And-
wow!
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're renting this. So
That's,
Okay.
isn't that kind of like crazy? Like not like using that word, but isn't
Yeah.
that kind of like wow? Like, dude, you guys rent?
So just to give you an idea,
that-
we were
yeah.
just offered a beautiful home.
We were.
About 3 blocks from
Yeah.
here. Gorgeous home. It had everything we wanted. It had a city view, beautiful pool, entertaining area, absolutely stunning home. And we were like, do we do it? Do we do it? Do we do it? But then we realized our lifestyle is going to change because now we're putting money into a liability, not an asset.
So so you're saying that buying a home is a liability?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
A personal home, yes,
Personal
is
home.
a liability.
Read any book. Look at Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Any book will tell you, any financial book will tell you that a personal home is a liability, not an asset. She, for example, she's got a 2010 BMW. Yeah. It's still in great shape because I keep it in great shape. And I drive an older Escalade. Theirs are paid for.
Yeah.
Anything with wheels and a motor is a liability. There's ways to make it an asset. But right now, she needs a new car. Doesn't really need it, but she kind of wants a new car, which is rare for her. We're going to wait on that because we want to expand. We want to open up a few more facilities, and this is where the coaching comes into play. It changes your mind. It changes your perspective. So we said no to that house because guess what? Now we're going to be dumping all this money into this beautiful home. It's not going to make us more money.
We live in a world of instant gratification. We want things now,
That's
right? So by being patient and waiting out, not only will you get the things you originally wanted, but it'll be tenfold. So have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
I have. That was
Okay.
like one of the first books I read after high school, actually.
Yes.
Like years
same.
after high school, you know?
Same. And I actually just re-listened to the audiobook of it. But your personal home, that's a liability because it's not income generating.
Correct. You're paying.
You are paying out all these expenses just to live in this home. We own real estate. We own the real estate of the facilities. So not only is our business the business side of it, but I'm also a real estate investor.
There's reminding me of McDonald's.
exactly, right?
Exactly.
You own
McDonald's
two
is not in
pieces
the
of
business
it.
of burgers.
Right.
It's real estate.
It's real estate, and you can sell the business and still own the real estate of it. So this business that we do actually attracts a lot of real estate investors who don't want to own the business, but they want to own the real estate of it and lease to somebody who wants to own the business.
Of course, because they know the money's in the real estate.
Exactly.
Right, at the end of the day.
Exactly. So our end game is always to, take back our house, but I'm not going to purchase another property just for us to live in. The properties that we're purchasing, so Boris mentioned about the property we turned down, and it was a beautiful $1 million home. And we could see ourselves living there. So instead, we said, no, thank you. And we will turn around and purchase a $1 million home to start a business that's going to be income generating for us.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
you know, right now we're going to sacrifice getting a nice car.
Yeah.
I like you with a nice or ugly car, dude. You're cool dude with me.
Well, thank you. But later on, and you're right, it's so hard because you're like, you see people on social media posting they have this car, that car, that car.
Albert.
But he also lived in his car at some point, right?
He made sacrifices
Yeah.
too. So he's deserved that.
It's like you said earlier, everybody see the good stuff. I want to have this, but they don't see the actual
And so
Yeah.
why sacrifice, why not sacrifice a G-Wagon or a, you know, Range Rover right now for a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or something down the line?
Yeah.
And it's going to taste that much better when you get it.
And you're going to have way more left over after too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Yeah. And so, you know, and who knows, by then she'll probably say, I don't know, whatever. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But the point is, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
The point is you delay that gratification for something bigger.
Yeah.
And that comes with maturity also.
Yeah.
Because as children, you don't, you know, it's a very difficult concept because part of delayed gratification is patience and discipline.
Showing up.
And that's hard.
Yeah.
So.
I like it because that hits home for me. Right? Because for me, I didn't start doing anything till I was 30, literally till I moved out of my house, my parents' house. This one guy liked to say, get out of your mom's tit. That's literally what he told me. It pissed me off enough to actually get out of it. But until you actually sacrifice all this stuff to make things happen, man, you don't know what the world is.
Yeah.
And to expect something in return right away when you haven't done anything.
Right.
You are going to get something, nothing, right? Because you didn't do anything. But
you get what you put in.
Yeah, exactly. So to be like, I have to have this because it has, no, dude, it took, like when I say it took me 30 years to find that patience, to be patiently aggressive and not be waiting for that gratitude or that what do we call that?
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
I want to say possibly even last year is when it finally like, dude, just put your fucking head down, work and do it. And that's what I've been doing.
Yes.
Because I it's like, well, I'm doing all this and I get nothing. Yeah, you're getting a lot of problems. Go solve them. That is how you get better, right? So that's why, like, what you're speaking, the instant gratification it's not a thing. You cannot go chasing the next shiny thing. Right. You're not. I mean, there is those cases where you get the $1 million in the lotto, right? You become overnight millionaire.
But you're gonna lose them like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it didn't cost you anything.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Like right now, if I make $1 million, not only am I gonna make it, I'm gonna figure out how to double them now.
Exactly.
Right. I'm not gonna go figure out how to go back to zero. It's gonna be at a zero.
Yes.
You know. So.
And if you go back to zero, it better be because you invested it in something else.
Dude, when I tell you I'm in a different level of broke, I'm broke. Like all these people tell me, you're making all this money. Business is making money, dude. I'm not making money. I'm just learning.
Right.
And that's how it is as a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone sees all the nice, flashy things. You're down here traveling in LA, staying in a hotel, right? Right? But that's what people see on social media. Like,
they're gonna see Santa Monica Pier later. Like, oh, this is having fun. Yeah, dude. If you would have seen me like on the freaking phone while I'm on the Ferris wheel, you know.
Nobody sees that.
That's what we call it must be nice, right? Because they don't see all the stuff you're doing in the background. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you'd much rather be enjoying the hotel right now than sitting here interviewing.
Yeah, I'd much rather be in the pool with my kiddo,
Exactly. But you're out here, you're putting work in. Yeah. Why? Because you know in the long run it's going to pay off.
And Aaron, if you're watching this, hit these people up. If you don't want to take care of me, bring me to them. Their facilities. Palomino facilities, please, kid. Don't let me down. Man, it's a beautiful thing, man, to be here today with you guys and be able to, like, just the way everything started. It was pretty cool. For me hearing God trying to figure out who was calling me.
You want to tell him that story?
Jonathan, and I'm like, what the hell? It's like, it's God, and I just see him go whoop. I was like, oh shit, because I think the address that you gave me was for the other side. Right?
So like, originally we were gonna do this at our facility, but then we booked the musicians and we forgot about that.
Yeah.
And so just to give everybody kind of a visual, both homes are right next to each other, right? So I see Jonathan pulling up to the wrong house, and I do this to people all the time. I think it's hilarious. Anyway, so I don't even open my door, and I just go, Jonathan. And he's like looking around, and I said, "Look up, it's God." And he's like,
and he looks up.
He got me, dude. I was like, God.
So the stupid sense of humor that they were talking about, this is it. This is part.
It was beautiful. Like I said, we had to get him in because, one, we do have to laugh and make light of things.
Yeah.
I don't have a dark human, dude, but when I tell you, I chopped my foot off and everyone else was crying and I was just like, oh, happy and jolly. Jonathan, nothing's wrong with Jonathan. Like, you have to make light of things, man. Like, I got stabbed, right?
Wow.
As well. Dude, I was fighting with the freaking nurse with freaking a gash in my shoulder where I could put my whole 4 fingers in there, and I was like, what the fuck? Right? I was not drunk. It was just a fight, man. The whole brawl that happened, right?
Oh my gosh.
But at that time, my mom's over here like, oh, I need you up. I was like, Mom, can you just give me the number of the freaking nurse? Like, dude, I'm trying to make light of things, right?
My gosh.
And mom's over here dying. Well, of course, the son.
I'm like looking at your foot right now. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, this foot, and I'm sorry, right? You guys, and I'm not charging you guys, all right? This is OnlyFans stuff, but I'm in charge.
Oh, yeah.
But so
The subscribe only.
subscribe only free for that. But basically, and sorry if I'm showing my feet, but I have a scar that goes around
You really did.
all the way to here, right? So I stepped on the blade, and it went all the way. Well, it didn't go all the way through, which is why they saved my foot, right? But what happened? What had happened was
With shoes on or without shoes?
without shoes. So before I became an okay human being, I was a real asshole.
Okay.
I was the worst kid, the worst son, the worst brother. I was everything but nice. And I don't think I ever said the story either, but or at least on the podcast. But at the time, I never buy no $60 pants, man. If I freaking get them for $17, I think that's expensive, right?
Yeah.
But that day, it was Christmas Eve. I was like, you know what, man, I want to feel nice. It was, I don't know if you guys remember the I'm rocking my Vans song, but they look like sneakers,
Yes.
that song.
Oh, yeah.
It was around that time when everybody was wearing Vans, right? 2009. So I was really going to put on my new Vans, my new socks, my new pants. Or I put my new pants on. And as I was about to put my shoes on, my mom goes, hey, hijo, you think you could help me move the tarp? Because we're going to be outside, and I don't want the mist or the sereno right at night to come and hit us because we're going to be there. It's like, and your uncle put it wrong. Can you move it the right way? So my uncle put it like on the side of the house so that when it would hit, but my mom wanted it above. So I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So just to give you a little picture, let's say you walk out of your front door.
Mm-hmm.
It's your porch, and then it's, as you walk out, the porch has like this little, kind of like an opening, right? So it has a little bench, like you walk out, and it has a little bench, and then the opening, right? So I walk out, I get on top of that little bench that's part of the house. I hang on the ceiling on the roof because I could reach to cut the zip ties of the tarp. And as I do that, I have no shoes, right? So I was really gonna put them on. I get on the edge and my feet are like this on the edge. And as I'm hanging from the roof edge, my foot slipped. Right, at that point I had already given the knife back to my uncle, I believe. And as I slip, this is the part that I still can't even understand how it happened. But if I was to make sense of it, it was I gave him the knife, he put the knife. When he see me slip, he got kind of freaked out, put the knife back on the ledge. And this is a matter of seconds, right? I'm thinking, I was like, dude, in a matter of like just a second or two, right? I'm like, I can swing back and forth, land back on the porch, or I could let myself go from like the ceiling down, right? It's I have no shoes, there's a bunch of rocks. Like, dude, I'm at this, like now I'll be like, dude, you could have just let yourself go, ended up with a twisted ankle at worst. Like you had to go back and get on the freaking knife. But I swung back and forth, and I was like, fuck it. So I swung back and forth. I step on the knife, and then I jumped off. And as I jump off, I believe the blade itself got stuck to the bottom of my foot with the sweat. And as I jump off, it was just all weight from my ledge, probably at this high.
Oh my gosh.
All I felt was like if you put your hand in hot water, and then you pull it out, and you get that nice, that cool feeling, kind of like vapor rub.
It was your nerves, yeah.
Bro, nerves, bones, everything was gone. The only thing that was held together was literally like, you see this vein?
Yeah.
We have the same thing in the foot, the skin and the top tendon. The doctor goes like this. It's like searching for pulse. Like, I'm gonna be honest, man. Oh, he didn't even tell me that. He's like, dude, we're gonna see what we can do. Like the whole bullshit story.
Yeah,
I was
of
like,
course.
dude, can you just tell me what's gonna happen? Like at this point, I already made it. I already told God. Like I already made my peace with God. It's like, dude, I'm coming back with no legs. It's up to you. Thank you. I'm alive. Like most people,
Wow.
So the thing was, anytime the police or ambulance got to my block, they're picking someone up to take to the morgue. They're not alive.
Yeah.
Right? And even though it wasn't part of some criminal thing that happened.
Sure.
I was getting that freaking ambulance alive and coming back home. So I was like, God, I think I appreciate it. I know I'm not coming home without a foot, but whatever happens, happens. Thank you. Everybody was freaking losing it, dude. My sister, my mom, everybody.
I
On
bet, I
Christmas
bet.
Eve.
On Christmas
You
Eve.
ruined Christmas.
Good
Yeah, I
job.
really did, dude. And I was like, no matter what, I'm trying to get away from you guys, and you guys want to come to the hospital too? Like, Jesus. Like, stay away.
Hey, Mom,
No, but-
are the tamales ready?
No, dude, and I told them, I was like, don't worry about it. I'll be okay. Just freaking finish the day over there. Like, I'm going to one of the best hospitals. What are you guys worried about?
Wow.
I mean, of course, his mom, dad, family. So I ended up Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's. It was like 14 days in the hospital. Yeah, 14 days in the hospital. And then the last week it was 3 surgeries
That
back to
explains
back.
why you hate
Okay,
hospitals.
so now I understand
Now
why
I
you
get
don't
it.
like hospitals. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's literally
So
it.
you did rehab, I'm assuming, to
No.
walk again?
Nah, I was just brokenhearted. at the
You were
time.
able to walk just like that after the
No,
surgery?
they told me you're not gonna walk for. I think they told me over a year. It's like and even if you do start walking again, you're not gonna be able to walk the same, dude. 6 months later, I was starting to move my foot. Like the minute they told me you don't need crutches,
Yeah.
you need to, like they didn't give me no physical therapy. I couldn't.
You're not
afford
even
that.
limping.
No, like and I could run like nothing,
Wow.
and I don't
That's
feel the bottom of
impressive.
it still. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like numb because of the nerve
Right.
damage.
Yeah.
But it's a blessing, man. Like to me to be here, to have my foot, to be stabbed and still be able to talk and be alive.
Wait, how did the stab happen then?
A year after. Dude, I mean, think about it.
Stay away from knives and sharp things.
On a Thursday, man.
Oh, I thought you fell and then the knife came down or something. Not
Dude.
even the same incident.
So here's the other story. So for me, I've always been. I was an asshole of a kid, but I was never a bad kid. So I was never like into drinking, gangs, alcohol, like I was never into that, dude. I was like a mama's. I'm even to this day, I'm a mama's boy.
Yeah.
Right? Like I love my mom, and so. I was always a scary ass little kid. I was like, I don't want to get beat up by a gang, man. Like I hate fights. A fight comes, I piss myself, man. And I start shaking like shit. Not anymore, but when I was a kid.
Right.
And so, freaking, when the whole accident happened, I was like, dude, I haven't even lived my life, and I almost died, right? I was like, I need to go out and have fun. So, dude, that was when I was 18, right after high school, 2009. So I was a young buck, man, going wild. Like como we say in Spanish, le soltaron la rienda al caballo. You know, I was freaking loose. So I went and partied out Tuesday through Sunday, man. It was party, like, dude. And I was like, I have that energy as well, where people's like, dude, are you coming today? Well, I guess I am. You know, and they would carry. I was a security guard at some point, and I was partying, or it was a Winterfest, I think it was called. Winterfest. It was this big party ran by 17, 18-year-olds, free alcohol. Oh, no. Beautiful, beautiful. That night I didn't drink though, right? And there was people there that were fighting. One of them were my cousins. And when I tell you, I walked out of this door, and as soon as you walk out, there was like this little on-ramp for only one person to walk basically in and out, right? So they trying to close the door as everything is happening, and someone punched my cousin, right? My cousin, and my cousin walks out, and I'm like, oh, it's family. Well, I walk out behind him.
Oh, man.
So we're here, man. I'm talking about, it looked like a freaking movie. There was like 2 people walking on this little on-ramp, and you got this whole freaking bunch of people just running towards us. And I'm just like, holy, whoa, it is what it is, man. So we started doing what we did, man, and probably by the 3rd, 4th punch, because it was a bunch of little kids, man. And I remember, I hope they're okay. Dude, huh? No, man, I was just like, because, dude, I mean, I got some freaking banana hands, right? But at the time, like, they were, like I'm in high school, dude. You got this freaking young ninth graders, freaking middle schoolers coming to this grown-ass parties, right? Or grown-ass parties. And dude, I slapped a couple of them, and I'm talking about like laid them out. And by the third punch, all I felt was a, and I tried to punch somebody, like I grabbed somebody by the hair, and I was ready to just mocos, you know. And I was like, oh, and I look, and I'm like, what the hell, dude? And just like with the new pants, when I forgot, I didn't tell you this, but when they were trying to cut him off, I was like, no, it's okay, I could pull him out. It's like, no, we need to cut him off. I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, they're expensive. Don't do it. I could, no, dude, we need to cut him. I was like, fuck. So I was more heartbroken about my pants than my foot, right? And then this time when I got stabbed, I had just bought a brand new shirt, man, Express shirt, like
Don't buy new
freaking
stuff anymore.
yeah, no, seriously. And I mean, we were freaking dancing, and the shirt was hot, so I hadn't unbuttoned. I had just my beater on, and I get stabbed, and I'm like, oh crap, I got stabbed. And the minute I do that, I go,
My shirt.
okay, I'm good. I took it off and I put it on. I was like, damn. And I was just gushing blood, man. And kind of reality kicked in a bit, and I'm like, okay, my heart is over here. Okay, I'm good. And I go like this. I'm like, okay, I'm good. And I'm like, but I'm bleeding like crazy. Like, I'm talking about all the way down. I'm like, oh. And I mean, at that time they had called the ambulance. The ambulance did not get there until I got to the hospital almost. Because one of my buddies at the time, just like, dude, let's go. Like, you guys, like, let's go. So he sped off, dude. So by the time we were getting off the freeway, the ambulance was barely getting on. And I knew it was like you could tell, you know. Because it was that, and that was only one, it was actually two. And I got to the hospital, and I told her, I was like, dude, just go, because this is not even your problem. You're just helping me, and I don't want you in this.
Yeah.
All right? So who was it? I don't even know at this point. I don't even know his name. But I go in there, like we're saying, make light of things, right? Of course, I got stabbed, but when I was in there, I was like, dude, I'm over here flirting with the nurse, trying to be all nice. And when I got stabbed, dude, those two incidents were life-changing, right? So that was like literally part of my start of a journey of transforming the asshole John into a better human being. But yeah, man, almost losing the foot on a Thursday and then getting stabbed that year, literally almost like 2 days into the year after this incident. It's
all perspective.
Yeah.
It all really is life perspective, because anything that comes your way, you can you make the choice every day of how you interpret things and how you will take things and how you will move forward with things. Like, I had an incident in 2019 where I was just warming up. I was at the gym and I was doing militaries, and that day I happened to get the flu shot on this arm. Well, shit, nobody told me not to work out the day you get a shot. Okay, whatever. No, don't do it. So I'm warming up, and I have, 55s, which is weird because I can't touch the 55s after that. It's a mental thing. But anyways, I'll get over it. So I'm on the military.
it's a mental break, by the way.
Yeah, the military chair bench. I'm doing militaries, right? And I do like 2-3 sets, and then on the third one, as I'm coming down, my wrist goes back, takes my whole arm back. And you know when you rip a chicken bone, like the leg off of the Costco chicken? It's exactly what it sounded like. And instead of me dropping the weight, it took my whole arm with it and popped my shoulder out. And it was just, it didn't pierce the skin, but it was like a nasty bulge. And I just like the pain was just, I mean, I've broken bones. I've broken this arm, this finger. I've twisted ankles. I've had all kinds of stuff, but that was the worst pain I've ever had in my life. And long story short, they had to put me to sleep to put it back in. I still have issues with that shoulder but what I'm getting at is I could have easily said, and that was the beginning of my workout journey because I wasn't working out before. I could have easily said, you know what, to hell with this. I don't need to do this shit. I still continued, and I still, fitness is a big thing for us. So we go to the gym almost every day. You can let things deter you and stop you, or you can use them to motivate you. It really is your choice what you want to do. It's so easy to say, you know what, screw this, I'm not doing it anymore. Mm-hmm. Same thing with business. You can
You get to
you can have a
rewrite your
failure.
story.
Yeah, you can have a failure and say, all right, this isn't for me. I'm going back to my 9 to 5. Or as you said, you learn from your mistakes. You learn from your failures, and you get up and you keep going. It's your determination. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
Beautiful. I think we reached a beautiful point to ask you, both of you guys, this. You know what a guerrero is?
Yes.
You know what a guerrera is?
It's not the tortilla.
Thank you. I was like, and it's not the tortilla.
Yeah, because you didn't even know the tortillas were called that. Oh.
I did know about that. I did know about the tortillas, but I knew that.
Yeah.
So guerrero means warrior, right? Guerrera, the
A
feminine,
warrior?
or
Okay.
feminine warrior, right? The female version of a warrior.
You're not going to ask us to like do some chant.
I was about to bring this I was about to bring the swords and so this is what warriors do. So let me ask you, what does it mean to be a guerrero to you? And then of course we're gonna get your perspective. What does it mean to be a guerrera, a warrior? Because you guys definitely been through some stuff, man, and not anybody will just get through that. It takes a warrior.
Now I understand why you chose that name for your podcast.
Thank you.
Okay, I get it now. I thought that was your last name.
So you guys want to hear the story behind that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my dad's last name is Guerrero. My
Okay.
last name is Solis.
Okay.
I got raised by my grandparents. Long story short, I'm under my grandparents, or not under my grandparents. I have my grandparents' last name,
Okay.
right? So Solis through my mom. Growing up, man, now that I'm older, I understand what it is to be like, dude, I want my kid to have my last name, or you know what I mean, like that meant
Right.
part of me. And as I grew up, I saw my dad see his child without his last name, and I saw what the effect that it took on him, right? But I didn't understand it till now that I have my own child. And I said to myself, I need to do something with the last name Guerrero. I don't know. I didn't know what. I just knew that I had to do something. I just knew the word Guerrero had to be in something that was gonna be big to me. And Albert, being Albert, he pushes the freaking podcast. The podcast. When are you starting your podcast? So it took me about 4 months to even be like, whoa, I have the word Guerrero, like, you know. So with me is I want to take the last name Guerrero across the fucking world, one way or another, right?
Yeah.
Podcast is my way to get that name out there.
Okay.
So I mean, I have my last name Guerrero. I have that blood. I have that Guerrero in me, and now we have a podcast, and now we have Guerrero's Enterprises LLC.
Nice. Congrats.
So Guerreros is gonna be a big thing.
Yeah.
Right, so that's why it's Guerrero. And the other thing is personal accountability. How the hell do I give up when I have a freaking podcast called Guerreros?
Yeah.
I can't.
And very good point, because when we started the business, I put our last name on it because of accountability. That's the reason why we put Palomino.
Yeah.
It's hard to give up on your last name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a representation of us.
It really is. It really is. I
So
love
go
it.
ahead and answer.
So what does it mean to be a guerrero? Not giving up. Fighting. Life is full of adversities. And especially when you're trying to be out of the norm. You're trying to get out of your 9 to 5. You're going to have the naysayers. I remember my boss and several people at the dealership were like, you're stupid for doing this. You will be back. You're going to fail. Okay. I remember I was at lunch and one of the other coworkers came in and he's like, hey, I just found out that you're leaving and you're starting your own business. I just want to tell you that is the stupidest idea ever. I thought, okay, cool, man. I appreciate thank you. Appreciate it. Still doing it. And sadly, as Hispanics, we don't support each other. We don't help each other. And this analogy has been used over and over and over and over, and I still like to use it. We're crabs in a bucket.
Oh, I love it.
You've heard it.
I love it.
Hispanics are the crabs in a bucket. When one's getting out, the other ones will bring it in.
That's right.
Stop listening to everybody else. Stop listening to people who are not going to help you. Stop it. Knock it off. Do you fight? Fight for what you want. Fight for what you believe. Even if you don't have anybody backing you up, do not compromise who you are, your standards, your values, your beliefs, for the masses. Fight no matter what. We only have one life. When you're 6 feet under, nobody's going to care that you please them or not. But you're going to care when you're with God that you did what you had to do for your family and for yourself.
Beautiful.
Top that one.
Yeah, I was about to say match that.
Top that one.
Dude, I feel like just scooting back just in case, you know. And she does have pretty long hands, right? Yeah. About to get across one too.
Okay.
Wow.
What it means to be a guerrera. See, I said it correctly
Yeah,
too. Did I roll the R's correctly?
You almost did guerrera,
Yeah.
but you got it, guerrera.
Guerrera?
There you go.
Okay, guerrera. Okay. No one is ever going to create your life for you. You have to create it for yourself. So that means you have to work hard towards it. Nobody's going to hand it to you on a silver platter. If you want a certain life, you have to go out there and create that life. In order to create that life, though, I want to say, and what's missed most often, is not choosing the right partner to do that with. You have to choose a partner that you want to grow with and has the same core values and beliefs as you so that you can support each other on that journey up. Oftentimes, I feel like couples become resentful. Well, he's really successful and I don't feel like my voice is being heard. And that's when a lot of arguments and when most marriages, I want to say, or relationships fall apart is because couples aren't supporting each other in their dreams and their journey. And so finding someone, and you don't have to do the same type, you don't have to work together. You just have to support each other's careers and understand that there's ebbs and flows of business. There's periods of growth and there's periods of just when you're complacent. And that's okay. But finding the right, or let me backtrack, I should say. Working towards your goals and your dreams, you have to do that for yourself. But having that person support you along that journey just makes life so much better. So don't give up.
There you go.
At it.
Beautiful. I love it.
Fight.
And we didn't get interrupted by another aftershock.
No, we didn't.
Or
Thank goodness.
not another earthquake with no
I
aftershock.
know.
So it was beautiful. There you guys have it. Our first couple in Guerreros podcast. Great entry to this. You guys are going to see why. Freaking amazing. We shook the world, really. Literally shook the world today with this too.
I should have filmed like going to the facilities and stuff.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is great stuff. I sent the clip to my guy. I was like, dude, get me the ending now. So there you guys have it. If you guys have any questions, about building or starting their own care, please feel free to hit up. You know what? Don't even hit him up, dude. They don't even want to talk to you. No, I'm just kidding. You see, I'm getting them with their own sarcasm. But if you guys want to start or looking into care facilities, these two are definitely, man, great people. They got great hearts and they definitely got the knowledge as well as the sarcasm. So don't take it too serious. I'm serious. Don't take it too serious. So if you guys need anything from me, my guest, let us know. Where can we find you guys again?
The Amanda Palomino on Instagram.
Boris V. Palomino on Instagram.
And the Jonathan Solis on Instagram or at Guerreros.podcast. I got you covered. Once again, stay tuned and we'll get you guys again. Guerreros, let's go. Woo.